Happy Thursday. Happy Timbip Live. We are back. We are here. I'm back. You're here. Sorry for the 2-week break. After a after a longer break from having a new baby. But we should be good for a little while. A couple weeks on, a week off for Thanksgiving, for American Thanksgiving, of course. And then, well, we'll get there. We'll get there. Regardless, though, thank you so much for being here. Thanks for sticking around. I have missed you. I hope you are doing well. Brewmaster says that he is recovering from hernia surgery. Buddy, I am sorry to hear that, but I hope that you are hanging in there. Oh, hello, Tony Bag of Donuts. Good to see you, buddy. Thank you for sending in the Samply Irresistible for this past week's Patreon content over at patreon.com/mybourbonpodcast at the $5 and up tier. Sugar Kitty kicking us off, saying meow, meow, meow. Had to be done and was miserable before. Understandable. Brett Venata, been a minute since I popped into one of these streams. Hello, Perry and everyone. Brett, it is good to see you. I hope that you have been well. Sorry you hated the flight. I didn't hate the flight. It was different. It may have sounded like we hated the flight, but it was a nice reminder of what was. Always appreciate you. It was good to reminisce, of course. Oh, boy. We're looking a little bright. Oh, I don't know if I can change the settings. Yeah, I'm not sure I can now that we're live. No, I cannot. Oh, well. You both hated the Tennessee and Fireball? I guess we didn't like them. I guess you're right. The Fireball tasted like regular Fireball. It didn't remind us of the Dragon's Reserve that we had before. I just don't think the Tennessee is a great pour in general, though. But again, neither of those are your fault. Oh, I have no idea how we rated the Tennessee at the live show. That is a great question. I don't even know. Yeah, I don't even know where I would look in that video. It would take me a little while to go back and find it, but I will try to do so. I don't remember it being very favorable, though. Honestly. I doubt that it would be very favorable if we went back and reviewed it now. too. Know what I mean? Picking up what I'm putting down. I'm thirsty. Let's get things kicked off. Starting out with a little pour from our friend, my daily bourbon, Mr. Chad Watson himself. It's a sample of a 10-year Brook Hill. I don't know the origin or the proof. I think he said it's around 115, 120. But I figured it'd be good to prep my palate for something a little bit in the older age range. So that's what I'm going to be doing here. And then after I do my review of the Elkwood Reserve, we're going to be comparing it to some other 15-year-old bourbons as well. I am looking forward to that. We'll get there eventually. But in the meantime, if you haven't done so yet, subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button. Follow on all social media at My Bourbon Pod. Support the show on Patreon, patreon.com/MyBourbonPodcast for as little as $1 a month. $5 a month gets you bonus content, and on up from there, there's some other goodies. Maybe I'll give the old show a listen tomorrow afternoon while I'm filling my new shelves and sipping on some new bourbons. 18 hours left in dry week or till dry week. I want Brook Hill in my mouth so bad. Oh, so in dry week. There we go. I'm sorry that you're not drinking tonight, Tony. Nothing fancy here. Open the evening with a JW Dant bottled and bond from a big plastic jug. I love Dant bottled and bond, man. I haven't had any in a while, but I need to soon. 'Cause I got some in the bourbon cabinet back there, which is just off screen a little bit. Let's see if I can. You still. I'm gonna have to adjust the camera. It's behind the concrete pole, but I promise it's back there. You can kind of see it a little bit. You know where it is. We're all aware that the bourbon cabinet's back there. I don't think you could make that out, but it had my address on it. So had to flip that box over. What else do I have to catch you all up on? I feel like there's stuff. If you haven't listened to this week's podcast episode, go and do that. It was a banger of an episode. Eric and I reviewed 2 whiskeys from ASW Distillery, a wheated bourbon, and a toasted rye. You're adjusting yourself. Please turn your head while you do that. Yes, I am sorry about that. I did forget to cough, too. So we'll run that test back a little bit later. We reviewed those 2 ASW whiskeys, and then also tried the 2 Royal Tiger Indian single malts that I opened when I came back on the stream a couple weeks ago tasted and semi-reviewed them. We didn't give them the full rundown, but go and check that out. It was a great episode. I really enjoyed it. And if you don't listen to the podcast, but you only watch the live streams, go check out the podcast on all your podcast platforms that you might listen to podcasts on. Apple, Spotify, Buzzsprout, which is where we host the podcast now. And that's been a joy to be over there since we moved. And I swear I'm missing something. ASW is definitely a different pour, but it's good for a change of pace. I completely agree. The wheated bourbon that we had, it was their 92 proof. I think they're both Fiddler, and it was a little more subtle than I would have liked, but it was definitely very satisfying. It was very satisfying. And the toasted rye was absolutely excellent. Just a really, really fantastic rye whiskey. Scored high marks for both of us. Go and check it out. Video versions on YouTube, of course, as well, too, if you're watching here on YouTube. And if you're watching on Twitch, on the replay, or otherwise, youtube.com/thisismybourbonpodcast. I've had a Fiddler cast strength and a Heartwood. I have not had a Heartwood before. The toasted rye was cast strength. I think I said this, but the wheated bourbon was not. The wheated bourbon was 92 proof. But tomorrow we are recording next week's episode. Tomorrow we're recording next week's episode. We got a couple of more reviews that we're doing. Kind of rounding out things that we were sent while I was on paternity leave. And one of them I had to kind of like hound the distillery for because it seemed like they were saying, oh, it's on the way, it'll be sent this week. And then it just never really showed up, or I would never get a tracking number for it. And then finally I was like, what is happening here? And they were like, it just never went out. We don't know what happened. Anthony Iturieta. Hello, Tim Bibb. Hello, Anthony Iturieta. And so finally they sent it, and I'm very excited to finally try it. And it's a Tennessee whiskey that a lot of people have reviewed already, and a lot of people have been very excited about as well. So I will let you all come to your own conclusions on that, I suppose. Heartwood maple pancake goodness with a different spice to it. Interesting. And then we got a Kentucky bourbon that we're going to be reviewing as well. So be on the lookout for that next week too. But tonight we got a sample here of the brand new 15-year Bluegrass Distillers Elkwood Reserve, 113 proof, $225 a bottle. Hey, Perry, I think you should share some Brook Hill with Tony Bag of Donuts. I hear he's an awesome guy. It's Bourbon Night sent me. Tony Joey. I think that's not a bad idea. I don't have a whole lot of Brook Hill left. I only have samples that our dear friend Chad from My Daily Bourbon sent. But we could potentially make something happen there. But Bluegrass Distillers was kind enough to allocate, I would say, a sample of this for us. I was not expecting a 200 mil of it. They reached out yesterday asking if we would promote it. And like I normally say, the best way for us to promote it is for us to taste it. And so I asked, I said I could come and pick it up. I live in Lexington, where you are too. And they said, sure, why not? So I ran over to the distillery on my lunch break today, picked up my sample. Hadn't been there in a while. Hadn't been to their downtown Lexington location. It's not extremely far from me, but I ran over there and grabbed it. Not a lot's changed. They're still very industrial in that space, but I love the Bluegrass Distillers location. Now, here's the thing about this 15-year-old bourbon. This, of course, Bluegrass Distillers has not been around for 15 years. They're not 15 years old. By all accounts, this is some of the 15-year-old Buffalo Turkey juice. Which reminds me, I meant to get some of the... I'll do that in a second. For anybody who doesn't know, Joe the Sample Guide, cheers, hit that like. Yes, please do. Good to see you, Joe. Good to see you. For anybody who doesn't know, this Buffalo Turkey juice, it's been talked about some, but to catch you up as well, this was distillate that was made for Wild Turkey, Turkalo Bufferkey. It was made by Buffalo Trace for Wild Turkey because Wild Turkey, I believe, could not keep up with some of the demand for what they were anticipating putting out. And Buffalo Trace said, we can do this. They used the same yeast that Turkey uses, but they used their own grains. The way that the story goes is that Jimmy was unhappy with the actual product that was produced, and so they were kind of stuck with these 15-year-old barrels that would then go on to be sourced to other NDPs. There's been, I know, OKI has had some 15-year-old products that are supposed to be that whiskey. I don't know where else it has gone other than Bluegrass Distillers. I know that I've tried some otherwise, but regardless, this is the first time that I've really talked about it. One, in the podcast setting, and two, in a review capacity. So it hits a lot of little kind of important notes for me. One, of course, it's easy to talk about Buffalo Trace as a whiskey or a bourbon content producer because it's an algorithm booster, right? Buffalo Trace is something that everybody loves. It's something that everybody searches for. They hunt for it. And it's crucial kind of at this point for a lot of us as whiskey and bourbon drinkers to our journey as we develop our own palates and understand what it is that we like. So that's the first point. The second point for me, which is a little bit more personal, is my love of Wild Turkey, of course. For better or worse, I am a very loudly outspoken Wild Turkey fan. If you want more history on that, go through the catalog of the podcast. I am not going to get into it too much. But I love Wild Turkey in all of its many forms. So having something like this, even at a premium price point, which I don't love. Admittedly, it's not my favorite thing in the world, but still, it's a conversation that I've had so much that I feel like it's not worth having anymore. And it's also not a conversation that I think is productive anymore either. Especially to the point that there are a lot of people who are still purchasing these premium bottles and showing that the conversations that I have had around pricing of ultra premium products don't matter. So it's something that I'm trying to put to rest. I'll have my opinion and say, is this the price point that I would like to see it at? No. And that's the end of the conversation at this point. That's where it is for me. So, do I love the fact that it's $225? No. But it's sourced. Okay? It's sourced. They had to pay for the barrels. They had to pay to put it into bottles. They didn't actually make it. It is what it is. Has the Turkey Fan had any of the Russell's Reserve 10 batch that supposedly has the older barrels in it yet? Been casually looking, but haven't found the right laser code yet. Let me talk about that here in just a second. Joseph Brazo is in the house, though. Good to see you, my friend. I hope you're doing well. As a matter of fact, Brett, yes, I have had some of the LLME. I don't know if the laser... Where's the laser code? There it is. Autofocus, you camera. Whatever. I have had LLME. I do have LLME. I know where more bottles of LLME are. I don't know what to think about the overall discussion on whether or not there are older Tony, I'll answer that question in a second. Whether there are older barrels in this or not. Let me finish this glass, and then I'll actually pour a little bit of it. There's my water. Jeffrey Wack. Hello again, whiskey friends. Some friends are asking about what's happening with the catalog of the pod, and then we wondered what the correct word would be. Podography? What do you mean about the catalog of the pod? I'm confused. Is there something wrong with the back catalog? Tony got all the LLME stuff and things. What's up, Bill? Hello again, whiskey friends. Jeffrey Wack, it's very good to see you. I hope you're well. I'm very confused about this backlog of the podcast thing. What's going on? It should all be there. Hope you're doing well too, Bill. Now I'm very concerned that, I mean, on Apple at least everything's there. I'll check on Spotify in a second. Bill, I have been well, buddy. It's been a busy couple of weeks. It's been busy adjusting to life with 2 kids, too. I will be very honest with you. But I love it. I love having 2 babies. I love seeing Podcastalog. I love seeing how much Eden enjoys having a little sister, for one, and two, seeing Ella recognize her big sister. I don't know if Tony's messing with me, Bill. I'm very confused. Especially because, like, I asked him, and then all of a sudden, he went dark. So anyway, hopefully Tony will answer this in a second, but I'm going to move on to talking a little bit more about LLME. Putting old episodes for sale. No. Oh. Oh. Okay. All right. Sorry. Let me address the for sale thing. That's not okay. The for sale thing is not for current Patreon members. That is for people who are curious about what we are doing on Patreon. Okay? If you are a member of the Patreon community, you will never have to pay for anything on top of what you are already paying for on Patreon. Okay? So your monthly fee gets you access to all of your benefits, right? Free members do not have access to the same benefits that you do. Individual posts on Patreon are available for sale for people who are not members at an individual tier or who do not support the podcast financially per month, right? You don't have to pay for old posts or old episodes. If you're a paying member, they should be available to you regardless. If I have to go back and fix that, I will, and I'm sorry, but I said at the top of that post, though, it was hello free members. Tony, when you say we, do you mean you and yourself? Yeah, I'm going to talk about it more on the podcast next week. So don't worry about it. The podcast itself is still free. You can still listen to the podcast everywhere. That the royal we. I know. But the Patreon stuff, you if you are a paying member on Patreon, you have access to stuff. It's just posts are now available for sale individually if you are not a paid member of the Patreon. I will talk about it on the podcast next week and try to make more sense of it. No spoilers. I'm banking podcast episodes for my flight to Jersey on Monday. There we go. We're friends with benefits. There we go. Anyway, I hope that clears that up. I'm sorry that it was confusing. I take responsibility for that. But yeah, don't worry about it. Anyway. So this is this is important. Brett shared this comment from Dave Jennings Rarebird 101 from 3 days ago. Enjoyed the video. I was able to clarify that leftover Russell's 15 barrels were not used for this batch, but I was also able to verify that older whiskey is in it. The old episodes are with Tony's backpack. Behind a paywall for a good reason. Yep. So the LLME hype is well-deserved in one aspect because there are older barrels in it, but it's not leftover Russell's 15 barrels. Okay? So that has been addressed in some capacity. Now, I've also seen some people say that this is just going to be the flavor profile of Russell's 10 moving forward, which I'm not upset about either. I think that this is a refresh that Russell's 10 kind of needed. It's very good. It's very good. And after I get through my review of the Bluegrass, I will be, and this poor paper label, comparing it to a little bit of Russell's 15 as well. So I look forward to that. Now, what these older barrels are that Dave Jennings is referring to, we don't know how old they are, 12, 13, 14. Maybe there are 15-year-old barrels in it, but not leftover barrels from Russell's 15. It's a very vague statement. It's playing very coy. We'll see. So, regardless, I don't know. I'm happy with this product as it stands. If they are going to maintain the price point of, $35, $40 with older barrels like this in it, I will be happy about that. Knowing Campari and the way that they've kind of been raising prices, though, I'm going to hold my breath a little bit. So, Jake Miller, hey chat, sipping on Four Roses Single Barrel. Jake, it is good to see you in the chat. And I hope you're doing well. All right. Enough hemming and hawing. Squeaking and squawking. Let's get to... let's get to it. And let's review the Bluegrass Distillers Elkwood Reserve. 15-year, 113 proof bourbon. Turcolo, wild Turcolo. I don't know. I'm living this dark at 4 p.m. needs to stop. It is rough, isn't it? It's pretty crazy. Yeah. Again, thank you to Bluegrass Distillers for providing me with this sample. It was very kind of them to do so. And I will be savoring it. All right. Honestly, not as dark for a 15-year-old as a 15-year-old bourbon as I anticipated it would be. But then again, that doesn't mean everything. So, we shall see. Okay. But it is every bit of 15 years old on the nose. For sure. Imagine 15-year-old Malort Jake, I don't want to. I would very much like to not do that and pretend that I did. I would like to not do that thing. Is that okay if I don't do that? I don't know. Maybe the oaky notes would actually kind of calm down the bitterness of it. I don't know. Maybe I would enjoy it a little bit more. You know what? I'm going to go ahead. My B-dry system is draining the water from around my house. And it always sounds like a toilet's running. Malort aged in gin barrels for 15 years. 15 years of dependent dead fish flavors. Ugh. This is fun. I'm enjoying this. Ooh, the Russell's 15 nose compared to it, though. It's almost not fair. It's almost not fair. Because the Elkwood is a single barrel, if I'm not mistaken, right? Wake up, keyboard. Yeah, it is a single barrel. Dang. $225 for a 15-year single barrel. That's wild. Regardless. Joe. I haven't even really gotten to what's happening with it. I'm just trying to adjust to the amount of oak that's on there and the age. Oh, by the way, if you want to support the show through tipping or super chatting, our method of super chatting, rather, that we call snuffy chatting, in support of our main man back here, Mr. Snuffleupagus. I'm sure you can see him, right? You can see him, right? He's back there. The big orange guy. You can see Snuffy, can't you? Anyway, he's the patron saint of 10-Bit Live. If you want to support the show, you can head to the Stream Elements link that is in the description below or pinned at the top of the chat. And if you do so, your message will appear right here on the top left-hand side of your screen, or you can use PayPal directly or Venmo, however you choose to do so. Supports the show. Eventually, one day, we might get to doing super chats directly on YouTube. Maybe. I don't know. We're close to getting to subscriptions on Twitch, too. So, I'm looking forward to that. Malort aged in stag barrels? I don't know about that. Viking Bourbon, hello, friend. Howdy, folks. Cheers. Cheers to you, too. I am very well lit today. I feel like I need to turn the lights down a little bit. Oh, you're talking about Snuffy. Snuffy is very well lit today. Yeah. I remember Mike Klein's fiance blinded Malort with good middle shelf pours and chose Malort. Yes. Obviously, Turkey has a lot of older barrels. If they are releasing 13 to 15 year stated juice, plus everything they have put up in the last 5 to 10 years of the boom. Yes. There is a predominant earthy note on the nose that is reminding me of something. kind of, it's almost like wet oak, wet tree bark. I mean, it is a very oak forward nose for sure. Dash Bun, what's up, Dashy? How you doing, buddy? Y'all, Eric's youngest is in the chat. Everybody say hey to Dash. Guess what? What's up? You got a girlfriend. That's crazy, man. Congratulations. Yes, Tony, censor yourselves. Well, to Dash's girlfriend. Or to Dash having a girlfriend, I suppose. I don't know. I don't know if I should be doing this. Regardless. Cheers, everybody. Whoa! Your dad doesn't know you're in here? Tony. It's certainly a pleasant evening, gentlemen. So glad to see you all sharing some merriment and spirits. What a fine evening we're all having. Should you turn your paging Dr. Eric. Should I turn my speakers up so he can hear it? Yes, turn your speakers up so he can hear it, and then I'll do like, yeah. I'll just start going, Eric, come up here. Eric. Eric, come up here. Eric. 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 Then we can start. Then we can talk about how we started pairings with whiskey and snacks. Absolutely. Eric. Merriment and frivolity. No better way to pass the evening. He's coming. We're getting off topic. This is great. We're really doing it tonight, folks. He went back down. Where's that subhuman at? I love that he came up for that. That's fantastic. All right, I'm going to get back to reviewing this. Top Shelf Dustin, what's going on? Good to see you, Dustin. How are you doing? I do know he has the attention span of a goldfish. Yes. First of all, this drinks like every bit of a 15-year-old bourbon. It loses a little bit of the oak on the palate, the actual oakiness. My dad says I can't hear this stuff. Fair enough. Dash, have a good night, buddy. Good to see you. But it is dry. I mean, there is a dryness to it still. You had me at hello. With all the turkey talk, I have treated myself to a pour of Knob Creek Single Barrel Store Pick. I still picked up one of those today too. So, Brett, that's what are you gonna do? It is extremely fruit forward. When I first tasted it, the first like 3 notes that I got were like red berries and then a grape note, which I guess might be the oak that I'm processing, and then a lemon zest. I still remember when 12-year bourbon was entry level. I miss you, 12-year Elijah Craig Shelfers. I do too. Oh, Eric's watching through Dash's computer. Hi, bud. I'll see you tomorrow. I have something for us to try together too. It's this, the Bluegrass Distillers 15-year turkey, buffalo turkey juice. I'm gonna pour a little bit more of it too, though, especially since I'm doing these comparisons. I do miss those higher age stated bourbons as well too, though, Dustin. This is exceptionally good, though. Buffalo turkey sounds like a fun collab. I agree. It's starting to get a little bit more buttercreamy with more time. And there's still this like wet tree bark note. And I can't shake that there's something kind of like earthy, mushroomy happening, which I do love, don't get me wrong. Like, I genuinely do love. It's just like I wasn't ready for it, almost. It's just a very it's a very complicated, very different 15-year-old bourbon palate. And I mean, I'm here for it, man. I truly am. The finish is so predominantly dry. It's just nothing but the oak. There's a little bit of that fruit that I was getting up front, like the red berriedness that I was getting up front. But it's really primarily the oak on the finish, and I don't mind that. I don't mind that. Overall, a spectacular pour. Again, $225 is a lot. I mean, even at like $175, I feel like, oh, man, it still is. I get it. I understand why they have to price it this way. It's just, personally, I'm priced out at $225. I wanted to buy a bottle, though. I mean, I got sent the I got sent the message about it yesterday from Bluegrass. And which should I prefer? Bleh. Which do you prefer, Brook Hill or Bluegrass? Well, it's funny you mentioned that because even though I had the 10-year Brook Hill, I do have a 15-year Brook Hill sitting here in front of me too. That's going to be one of my comparisons that I will do here in just a moment. But I do think I preferred this this Bluegrass to the 10-year Brook Hill. Here's all I have left of this 15-year Brook Hill. Chad did not tell me where this came from either. So, yes, Tony, I am sneaky and I am sly. I gotta be. I gots to be. You know? Anyway, before I go too far, I'm jumping too far ahead of myself. The Bluegrass, again, fantastic. I mean, just overall, if you can afford it, and they still have some on Bourbon Outfitters, which I think they might. Yeah, they actually do still have some on Bourbon Outfitter. Or if you're in town, I recommend getting it. You know, this is one of those bottles where, you know, I hate to be the like, when it's gone, it's gone. YouTube blocked your comment. I don't even see it, Dustin. You must have gotten auto-modded. Yeah, it didn't even show up like on my regular comment section. That's crazy. I'd say go for it. It's a shame that these, like, going back, I think, to what you were talking about, Dustin, this, you know, a decade ago when 12-year-old bourbon was sitting on the shelf at $30 a bottle, and now 15-year-old bourbon is $225. It's crazy. It's crazy. It absolutely just breaks your heart. Just said I was going to buy Buffalo Trace and Wild Turkey and make a new brand, but the backstory would be about me watching this in the buff on a beanbag eating Cheetos. Why did it block your comment? That's so strange. Whatever. Anyway, fantastic bottle from Bluegrass, and a fantastic distillate from Buffalo Trace and Wild Turkey. So, moving on to what Wild Turkey actually makes so that's the Elkwood, yes. What Wild Turkey actually makes, or did make as a 15-year-old product. And then whatever this Brook Hill 15 is as well. I think I'm going to go with the turkey last. It's so dusty. Dude, I don't know where that Brook Hill came from. But that is a toffee and caramel bomb. I mean, that is insanely good. Of course, I mean, both of them being at 15 years old. And I think they're probably both single barrels too. I think all Brook Hill is single barrels. They have similar levels of oak. The Elkwood is noticeably sweeter. It's noticeably more delicate with its more expressively like fruity flavors to it. It's more of a like fruit punch compared to something like baked goods or baked sweetness, like sugar sweetness, I suppose. I'm gonna have another sip of the Elkwood, or not the Elkwood, the Brook Hill. The Elkwood is a single barrel, yes. Fred Gilbert. Perry, how's the... first of all, good to see you, brother. Hope you're doing well. How's the Elkwood compared to the OKI we drank together? It is not as good. I think the OKI is a little bit more... Ooh... I think the OKI is probably more traditional bourbon palate, whereas the Elkwood is a much it's just a brighter, sweeter character to it. Even though, I mean, it's still excellent 15-year-old bourbon. Yeah, Fred is the one who provided me with the OKI that I was talking about earlier in the stream. How OKI has some of, or had some of, I doubt there's any left. I guess I was kind of saying it was there's... Okay, let me give me a moment here. Maybe I'm stepping on my own toes. The darkest fruit I would go is like red apple. Because it starts, again, it starts as like a red berry flavor. And midway through the palate is when it starts to shift into the oakier notes. And as it switches gears into oak is when the lines between like red berries and oak start to get blurred and it becomes like a red apple. It's really not very dark fruity. But when I compare it to whatever is happening with the Brook Hill, that is a much darker palette. That is a much darker palette. I love red berries as well. Yes. It's Dustin, it's brighter in comparison to the OKI that we had. Is really what I'm getting at more than anything. It is dry. Yes. But it's not so like it's mostly dry on the finish. In the back end of the palate. Screw it, I'm going to have a little bit more. Fred, I think that this is one of those bottles that you would be interested in getting because you have the OKI. And we got some Calumet 15 to compare it to something we can all get. You know what? I didn't even think about. I should have gotten a Calumet 15 today while I was out. I didn't even think about that. Good to have variety for sure. Yeah, I really should have gotten the Calumet 15. Just casually DoorDash some Calumet 15. That would be insane. Instead, I got a 1792 foolproof pick and a Knob Creek store pick today. Cool. Great. They did a good job. The Russell's 15, though. Comparing buffalo turkey to actual turkey. Teddy Ball Games. What's up, brother? I got a new one that we need to get to you at some point. How does 136... Ted. 136 proof 9-year Barton. Brother, nobody has spoken my language in a way that you have, I think, since I met my wife. And she looked at me, and the first words she truly said to me were, okay, this is stupid. Have you ever watched The Lord of the Rings? And that's when I knew that she was going to be my wife. I'm being dramatic, but absolutely, Ted. I think I need to. That sounds amazing. Holy moly, dude. Coming in here with the hitters, Ted. Good to see you in here, man. Hope you're well. A part of me is ready to just give up bourbon buying for 3 years, and then we'll be seeing 15-year bourbons on clearance, potentially, yes. Swanee! Hello, hi. Hello to you. I like the Calumet series, but I don't think they're anywhere near as complex as the bee turkey. I agree. Sounds like me going to pick up something new and coming out with another bottle I already have a dozen different single barrels of. Exactly. Every old Buckner pick on shelves. Sure, why not? I'm still happy with it, man. I will hit you up, Ted. I will text you in a little bit. Taking a year off drinking until middle of this year, I learned one major thing: 100 proof whiskey. 100 proof whiskey is really the sweet spot. I mean, there's a reason I always go back to Turkey 101. It is my sweet spot. Ted, Fred wants to know if it's the 75-15-10 distillate from Barton. Because now I'm curious too. Speaking of Buckners. Oh, Russell's 15. I think it'd be really funny, Fred, if you were asking Ted that question and he just dipped. If I find out later, I will. I will. If I find out, I will let you know, Fred. Fred and Ted, the dynamic duo. Oh, Russell's 15. There's an almost old bones of that stuff, and it's crazy cheap. Where and how much? Because I need to know. Text me. You know what? Just put it in the chat. No, wait, we're not gonna. It's not gonna sell out with the dozen people that are in here. Have to look it up and get back to you. Currently on the road, so only so much I can do. Fair enough. Ted, you're a good man. You're a gentleman and a scholar, Ted. Thank you for all that you do for us. A fair price 9-year 136 proof would be a score? Absolutely. The Buckner bottles aren't cheap? No, they are not. Although I did not pay for this one, and this one was not full when I got it. This one had about, I don't know, 2 more ounces in it. No, not even that, like an ounce more. The Buckner's 17, the only single barrel pick that was done. Aptly named the only one. From our friends at Bluegrass Barrel Pickers. 17-year bourbon. 120 proof. $92 in Texas, but Backbone will be available closer to you. It's got to be this. Never seen a 17 from them. What was that? 700? No, this was when they. So this was a local group in Lexington. They gave me basically the rest of this bottle. to taste and talk about it on the podcast. And they got it at cost to sell back to the group. It was like $4.25, I think. So again, it was not cheap. Eric got a bottle that he split with 3 other guys. So I wish I had thought of that when it was out. Because it's very good bourbon. And I wish that I had more. Retail would be 35% markup on top of that. No. They sell that's their price. Sorry, I should have I should have been more specific. Tony Bag of Donuts with the $10 Snuffy Chat. Arise, Papa Ritter, arise. No, that was what it would have been, I think, at the distillery too. Was $4.25. Tony, thank you for the Snuffy Chat. I'll have to double check with the guys from the group, but I think that's correct. Not as crazy as it could be, yeah. But I will be honest with you, I'm not paying $425, $450 for a bottle of whiskey. But that's just me. That's not me, it says Anonymous. Sorry, Anonymous Donut. How did the Anonymous Donut get a pair of hands? And access to a credit card? Thank you, Anonymous Donut, for the $10 Snuffy Chat. It was handy. It could have been handy. You're right. Of the Thomas H variety. Ha 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 ha. Whiskey jokes. Ha 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 ha. Whiskey jokes. Ha 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 ha. They're hilarious. How much would you pay for a handy? No, I meant the whiskey. Ha 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 ha. Whiskey jokes. Allegedly, they say you're welcome. Well, it's very much appreciated. It is genuinely stupid how good this whiskey is. How good this bourbon is. It is crazy that it was, because there's none left, over $400 the bottle. They're just stupid. But I mean, it's literally the only one, the only pick that had ever been done of this label. Okay, let me try that sentence again. But it was the only pick that had ever been done of this label up to this point. I think another one has been done since then. I don't remember. But regardless, it's very cool. And I just am thankful that I have some. Ha 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 ha. Whiskey jokes. God bless. Russell's 15, though, man. Hot tip of the day. Don't slip on Russell's 15 if you see it. Oh, man. I'm kind of out of things for the evening. And I don't want to drag it on for too much longer. I know other people are streaming as well. So I'm going to go ahead and say thank you all. Their prices do suck, Fred. You are correct. But they have good product. So, 'tis what it is. Why don't I drink some Fireball? Because I'm enjoying my whiskey and I don't want to ruin my palate for the evening. I guess I could drink some Fireball. Barrel aged Fireball. Hi, Emily Chambers. See you on the Cliffy bus later. Oh boy, I shouldn't have done that. If you leave, that donut guy won't get to wish Papa Ritter a happy birthday. That is true. Okay, well, I don't think Clifton will be streaming, but we'll be hanging. Why is he not streaming tonight? There is no... I don't think there is a Cliffy bus. Good Lord, I shouldn't have drank that. I don't think that cleared my palate out. Cheers to the stream. I need to start didn't even hijack with any Chiefs. Taylor Swift comments, signing off with Jack Daniel's single barrel proof rye pour. Brett, have a good night, brother. Good to see you. Cliffy's on a cruise. Okay. Yeah, Brett, I don't even know what you meant by co-ingredients. I don't know what that auto-corrected from. What did that mean? What did you mean? What did those words mean? Was it supposed to be coming back? I don't know. Regardless, I appreciate you guys hanging out. Coming in here? Oh, coming in here. That makes more sense. Oh, Fred. Fred with the Yes, I am 21. okay. Almost Old Bones bourbon, 9-year-old reserve. 110 proof. You said it's cheap too. Dadgummit. All these websites. Dang, $90. I think my eyes are finally starting to get bad. I'm developing okay, what is it when you can't see things as well up close? When you need bifocals. Are you nearsighted or farsighted? You're farsighted, right? Because you can see things from afar. Mesothelium. Fantastic. I have mesothelium. Tony, I like to think that you didn't know that was a comment from John, and you just knew by the context of the comment that it had to have been from John. And that's why you said hi to him. Oh, that was good. That was fantastic. Anyway, I'm finally at the point where I think I need some form of reading glasses. That's all. I'll see my way out. Tony, grab onto the back of my shirt so I can help you out. Follow the sound of my voice, Tony. Asbestos in your eyes? Dude, who knows? This house was built in the 70s. Anyway, I need like readers, or I'm going to need readers, because as soon as I turn my head up to read, everything starts to get clearer. So I can't wait. And you know what it is? It is 100% that my job and the podcast, which has compounded over, the past 7 years. It's just, I've had to be in front of a computer for the majority of a day, and essentially is the majority of a week. And then, what do I do when I get off work? I'm in front of my phone too, Oh, my body betrays me. The time has finally come. My hair's finally starting to get so long again that there's the one weird piece that won't curl with everything else. And I don't know why. I don't know why it does it. It's very bizarre. When did I cut it? Drink some Penelope? I don't have anything. Any Penelope. I genuinely do not have any Penelope. I could drink these 1792 Full Proof and Knob Creek picks I picked up today. I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to save the rest of that Buckner 17 for later, though. .53 and have always had great eyesight, but smartphone screen overload absolutely kills my eyes. Yeah, so it's because my hair needs to be longer. My hair, like, Fred, do you have any tips for getting your hair to grow longer? Because it won't get past this length. I'm not trimming it or anything. It just won't grow any longer. Anyway, Brett, so these are blue light glasses. You can see my camera in the reflection. I wear them because I am in front of my computer for so long. Just wait. I think you should follow the mutant hairstyle. Saves on shampoo. Don, you might be right. There's Papa Ritter. It's that steel plate in my head. My hair just won't lay right. Clark. Papa Ritter's in the house. The birthday boy. He's 60. He's not that old, but he feels like he is. 60's just a number. Just like any age, you turn another page and you think that you're a bummer. That doesn't make sense. Your hair doesn't know how long it is. I understand, but I feel like it just isn't getting longer than this. I don't know. Maybe I'm just crazy and I'm overthinking it. That was nice. Thank you. Bourbon Engineer, how you doing, buddy? Cheers, just drank what you were reviewing with Top Dog. It is amazing. It is very, very good. Bourbon Engineer, hope you're doing well. It's good to see you in the chat. Then I'll record that song for you. When it's your birthday, you turn another age, you turn another page, and it's just a number. I lost it. Whatever. On top of the sweet little sample of Bluegrass Distillers Elkwood Reserve that Bluegrass provided for us today. Picked up a couple of picks. Starting to sound like a carnival barker for some reason. That's right. Picked up a couple of picks. Y'all come right up. Step right up. Picked up a couple of picks. Both from Liquor Barn. I was I had to go out and pick up this this sample. The Elkwood is on Outfitters and it is in store for them, Fred. So if you don't want to, just Fred text me too. If you need some help. What's going on with my music? There it is. Garland gave you a bottle of 4 Roses single barrel. That's nice. They had a bottle at 130 proof. Top dog. They gave me a sample of 113 proof. What the crap? Nah, it's fine. It's fine. Fine. Yeah, I mean, I got my sample from Bluegrass. I picked it up at the distillery today. Was I picky about what picks I picked up? I actually was. I picked up 2 bottles and planned on picking up 1 more. Nice. Very nice. So I got a Knob Creek pick and a 1792 full proof pick today. The bottle on Bourbon Outfitter was also 113 proof. Interesting. The 130 from Top Dog is silly great. See, now I get the feeling they did release multiple barrels. Top Dog, send me a DM. Send me a DM on Instagram. At my Bourbon Pod. I got to chat with you about this. I'm curious now. Oh, they were store picks. What? Okay. Now we really have to talk about this. Send me a DM. I want to talk about this. Anyway, so well, that was just me moving my bottle around. Have I chatted about what we shared on Sunday? No, I have not. I was going to talk about it on next week's episode of the podcast. Because I was going to share it with Eric on next week's episode of the podcast. So tune in or follow me on Threads at my Bourbon Pod to go see what Papa Ritter and I shared on Sunday. No spoilers here. I'm waiting. Yes. Yeah, store picks of Elkwood, apparently. Fred. But who's to say if it's that same... Is it the same 15-year Turkey Trace distillate? Pop Ritter's on Threads as well. It's the same Turkey Trace distillate at 130 proof. Crazy. It's crazy. What the heck? My chair wasn't going over my carpet. Or my rug? My rug. Bourbon Engineer, Top Dog, somebody send me a DM, please. I gots to know. Holy Moses, man. Anyway, so I walk into Liquor Barn because I had to go pick up this sample today too. And I was like, well, I'll just see what they have. I'm here. And I saw their display of Knob Creek picks out, and saw a pick I hadn't. A man walks into a liquor store. Saw a pick I hadn't glanced at before, called Faux Fall. Come on, just focus, man. Just focus. Anyway, whatever. It was selected on October 27th of last year. But I don't think it's been out until now. Like, I go to Liquor Barn enough that I feel like I would have seen it before now. Pho or faux? Faux? F-A-U-X? Like faux. Like fake. Not pho. Oh, jeez. I sprayed some on myself. I love pho so much that my nickname was the Pho King. Don, your nickname was the Pho King. Great. Wow, that's the Pho King. Amazing. I expect a name tag at the next meetup. Yes, absolutely. Anyway, the other pick I got doesn't have a name. It's another Liquor Barn pick. It's a 15th series barrel 8, 1792, full proof. No age statement or anything. This is my dad joke podcast. Yeah. Hello, my name is Pho. Boy, we've really run the gamut on this week's live stream, haven't we? Now, I don't know why that pick was called Faux Fall. Hello, my name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die. Is that Mr. or Miss Pho? Mr. Pho and Miss Pho. Oh, man. Fee, fi, fo, fall. Hey, lady. Anybody want a peanut? Andre the Giant's greatest line in a movie. Absolutely. Honestly, Princess Bride might be my favorite movie of all time. Might be my favorite movie of all time. It is definitely top 5. But it very likely could be my favorite movie of all time. Princess Bride is my top 2 of all time, the other being Pulp Fiction. Nice. Two excellent choices. Top to bottom, it's freaking amazing. Absolutely. Fucking. I do not think that name means what you think it means. Ooh. Ooh. I was not anticipating this. I will be honest. I was not anticipating this. Having the Knob Creek side by side with the 1792. I think the 1792 might have a little bit of an edge on the Knob Creek. Just ever so slightly. Ever so slightly. A little bit of honey. Salted caramel. Little bit of banana. Not a lot, just a hint. A whisper. Oh, that's good. Two freaking awesome picks. I need to drink more Knob Creek picks so I can buy a new one. Same with Makers. That's the problem with Knob Creek picks. They just never last long around me. Fred, I completely agree. I completely agree. That's why I was surprised. And I tried them earlier, one after another. I didn't try them side by side. And I thought the reverse. I thought that I liked the Knob Creek better than I did the 1792. But no, I think the 1792 actually has more body to it. Hot Young Mess, my nickname in high school. And then Knob Creek is just a little. It's a little light. Lucky for me, though. I've got another Knob Creek pick next to me from Liquor Barn as well. Man, Liquor Barn really should just sponsor me. Not like that. Like, sponsor the show. They should sponsor the show. With how much free publicity I give them. Anyway. This pick, I absolutely love. I completely agree with that too, Fred. Knob Creek picks do hit their stride at 11 years. This is another Knob Creek pick. This is the second bottle of this pick that I have gotten. It is called Who Does Number 2 Work For? Also picked on the same day as Faux Fall. So maybe Faux Fall was picked later in the process, comparatively. Oh my gosh. Interesting. Side by side, Faux Fall might actually take the cake. Yeah, Faux Fall's got a longer finish. So how does number 2 compare to the 1792 full proof? What is happening? A squared plus B squared does not equal C squared in this case. Okay. So math makes brain hurt for sure, Tony. Perry brain hurt real bad. Drink bourbon, brain math hurt. Drink more bourbon, math make hurt brain more. Right now, no good. Brain math hurt real bad. Anyway, so who does number 2 work for is better side by side. No, wait, hang on. Number 2 side by side with 1792. The number 2 is better. But the Faux Fall is better than number 2. But the 1792 is better than the Faux Fall. That's what I'm saying. A squared plus B squared doesn't equal C squared in this case. Nothing makes sense. Nothing makes sense. What about airline food? It's crazy. All picked from the same pallets. 2 of them on the same day, 1 of them on a different day, Jack. We beat Medicare. What's the deal with bourbon? This is why side by side is fundamentally flawed. Yeah, it makes no sense. I don't know. I've only confused myself more. But I am going to go ahead and wrap things up here tonight. Oh, man. What's the deal with Tide? What's the deal with the tide? The moon makes the water come in and go out. I don't get it. You know what, Tony? You're right. I'm not done yet. I'm going to try all 3 of them blended together. I forgot the most important aspect of a 10-bit live. Roll Tide. If Jerry Seinfeld was an Alabama fan. Roll Tide. That's it. That's the whole impression. Jerry Seinfeld as an Alabama fan at an Alabama game. Roll Tide. Roll Tide. Speaking of tides, Disake. No, we'll have a second moon soon. I did know that. Don't we already have it? We should already have the second moon. So this sounds insane. This sounds like we're going crazy. But there is a small asteroid. I love that it's somehow corrected to Spanish for you, Fred. Anybody who doesn't know this, there is a small asteroid that has entered into Earth's atmosphere and is... What's the deal with Roll Tide? Is it coming or going? It is functionally a second moon for us, or not our atmosphere, but our gravitational pull, rather. And it, I think, if I remember correctly, it entered in late September or late October. So it should be here already. Orbit, not atmosphere. Yes, I'm sorry. That's why I was trying to end the stream, Fred. Come on, man. It's in our atmosphere now. It's just floating around, and like if you look up, like, you know, if you look up at 3 p.m. tomorrow, you'll see it. You know. Whatever. I'm done. Okay. I love you guys. This has been a fun stream. I'll see y'all real soon. Have a good night. Enjoy yourselves. Thanks for being here. Till next time, though, I'm Perry. This is 10-Bit Live. Bye.